Listen, I'm climbing up a mountain after back surgery, right? This is not about me. This is about this. I mean, look at this destruction. You're not going to see this anywhere. You think CNN's coming up here? Please. Yeah, if you could prove Putin cut down the trees, they'll be here in a jiffy. This is what we need. We need more attention on, it's not just the destruction of the planet or the country, but it's the destruction of basic humanity. We talk about, we started a revolution against tyranny in Great Britain. Well, what the fuck do you call this? This is tyranny. And I'm not supposed to say that because I'm a journalist, but I just speak the truth. I mean, tyranny is when you're controlled and you don't have freedom. And this is tyranny. And, it's been difficult for me the last few months because, I had surgery and other things. I couldn't get back here and show this. But this stuff is happening all out in the open. It's just that our media is completely bought off. YouTube, the platform I'm on right now, is literally suppressing journalists that are not from CNN or bigger outlets. They are suppressing us so you can't see the truth. Maybe their corporate advertisers wouldn't like this. But this is what's going on. And it's not just environmental. There's a lot of corruption involved with this. There's local Virginia Congressman Goodblatt, I read about, that has a blatant conflict of interest. He's invested in a holding company that's invested in these pipelines. I mean, this is legalized bribery on steroids. And by the way, one of you, I think, said it, or Red said it. These oil companies, if they would get their brains on connected straight, he could make just as much money, if not more money, if they shifted tomorrow to solar and wind without destroying people's property and not to mention the water and the animals and, all that. So all I ask, if you can contribute so we could stay, literally, you should see what we're working with here. Jen is not a camera person, but she's my camera person today. We barely have a working microphone. We barely have anything. We're starting from the ground up here. So if you could contribute to the Patreon, this is what it's for. Patreon.com/Jordan Sheridan Reports. If you don't want to do monthly, you can make a one-time contribution to my PayPal, paypal.me/Jordan Sheridan. But I'm not, I'm not interested in reporting on like Rudy Giuliani and stupidity he says, or Russian trolls and all this bullshit that doesn't matter. This matters right here because I think he said it best. If they could come and do it through the Appalachian Trail, by the way, they're doing it through the Big Bend region in Southwest Texas. I covered that pipeline down there. Before you know it, they'll say, too bad that your kids go to daycare there. We need the gas, so to speak. Because and by the way, I've covered this enough. It's not only about the money for these oil companies. It's about unfettered power. These are people that something is lacking. Something is lacking internally, particularly empathy, not to mention a few other things. So bottom line, if you can't contribute financially, share these videos. Don't just share the videos, but get on Twitter, get on Facebook, get on everything you're on. Write a separate post with these videos. The hashtag is Stand With Red. The hashtag is No MVP. There's another pipeline, Atlantic Coast Pipeline, which is kind of like the evil stepbrother of the Mountain Valley Pipeline. That's Dominion Energy, which I've only been in Virginia for a day now, but I hear Dominion owns the state of Virginia and its politicians. Frankly, Genesis was talking about Tim Kaine. Call Tim Kaine's office. He said something.
Yeah.
Well, get him to say more. Get him to do a press conference. Get him to come down here. I know he's up for re-election, but, some things are more important than whether you stay in office. Tim Kaine, who, by the way, hate to break it to you, has taken an ungodly amount of money from big oil. He's saying the right things, but we need more than talk. We need action. So we will be here for the next few days. There's also another, come over here for a second. There's another protest going on from, I don't know, is her name Nutty? Yeah. So a woman named Nutty has been protesting since the end of March, I believe, at a separate location where the National Forest Service, we think of the National Forest Service, they're dressed in those, weird costumes or whatever, and they're supposed to be there for the protection of the forest. They are literally blocking this woman who is basically climbed up a monopod. She's been protesting, I think, for a little longer than your mom and sister were, and they are basically zoning it off. They're changing the rules every day, so people that come in from all over the place to support her cannot get close, because obviously I haven't climbed the tree, but the hardest part is isolation. So they want to make sure anyone climbing up trees to protest, and basically the protest is to stop them from cutting down the trees, because the pipeline company needs them to cut down the trees to put the pipe in. They're trying to make sure that nobody could get up close to talk to the person, to encourage the person. With Red and Minor, musicians came to play for them. People came from all over the place so that they weren't alone. And they're trying to block that. They're trying to block food donations. They're trying to block your sister needed sunscreen because she had very little protection above her and she was getting burnt. I mean, it's just inhumane, the whole thing. Bottom line, think of like those old, you know, Huckleberry Finn or those old tales you read. Climbing a tree is American, especially on your own property. And somehow that's now trespassing, essentially because the judges, for the most part, have you heard a lot of cases where a judge says, oh no, I'm ruling against that oil company? It's all one it's a revolving door of corruption. So we'll cover as much as we can. Your contributions are going to keep me out here a little bit longer. So again, patreon.com/Jordan Sheridan Reports or paypal.me/Jordan Sheridan. And by the way, this is a much bigger vision. I've announced it already, but we're launching a media network. This is just kind of like the on-ramp. We're going to have other reporters going to cover things like this. So definitely share this, and we'll be back live probably later in the day. Thanks.